Hi everyone. So you guys are here from Facebook. You probably saw a Facebook ad, and before I tell you about the product, before I tell you what it does, the benefits to it, I need to tell you an introduction story, how it came to be. Because without that, the product just seems like another product on the market, and that doesn't do the product justice, doesn't do the ProFiber justice, doesn't do you justice. And so I want to open up with that. My name's Antonio. I am the guy who does all the hard work when it comes to ProFiber. And I work with Dr. Harris Silverman, who is the founder and he's the creator of ProFiber. He created ProFiber roughly 10 years ago out of a need. And that's typically when you have the best inventions, when there's a problem and you have to work really diligently to fix that problem. Dr. Harris Silverman, he's a now retired MD, and when he was in his 50s, he was seeing his doctor. So I don't know if you knew this, but MDs, they see doctors as well. And so he was seeing his doctor, and his doctor told him, hey, your blood glucose levels, your insulin is less sensitive, your blood glucose keeps spiking, you're pre-diabetic, on the verge of type 2 diabetics. Like so many millions, I think it's over 80 million Americans now are pre-diabetic, heading towards type 2 diabetes. And Dr. Silverman was there. And on top of that, his doctor told him, you also need to lose some weight. The problem here, though the doctor gave him metformin at the time, there was no other direction. Like so many other people, I think that's how their doctors treat them. They say, you need to do this, without giving them guidelines, a list of what to do. And Dr. Silverman was frustrated, as I think many people are in that situation. So he actually set out, instead of taking the medication and just using that as kind of a band-aid to cover up the problem rather than fix it, he actually did research. He spent the next 7 years trying to figure out, okay, what is going to work for me health-wise? And he began experimenting with different proteins and different fibers, because he had found out that fiber is what's really going to help stabilize blood sugar level, keep it even. And he came upon some different ingredients. Some, when he was experimenting with quantities, made him have, how do I put this nicely, effects on his gastric system that that he didn't entirely love. But, he came around to fixing those. And he spent 7 years doing this, and after the years went by, he noticed, holy cow, I don't have any issue with my fasting blood sugar. I don't have any issue with my weight. He had lost 30 pounds. So his blood sugar was normal. He had lost 30 pounds. He had also come to realize that his LDL cholesterol, that had gone down too. And he learned progressively that what he was using in ProFiber, previously named what he called Kickstart AM, had several ingredients that were almost ahead of its time in being used. And so he decided to give it to some of his friends, just as a test, just to see if it was viable, if it wasn't just something that was happening to him. Because at that point, when it's just one person who's saying it works, it's only anecdotal. That doesn't mean it works officially. So he gave it to a couple of his friends. Lo and behold, his friends took it. They noticed that their blood sugar had gone down. They've lost weight because of how filling this is. And I'll get into reasons why it's filling in a little bit. But he noticed they had nothing but positive words to say about it. And at that point, and this is how I come in, I was coming out of college. I was a certified strength and conditioning specialist. I worked with athletes. I worked with staff at my university to build just more efficient, effective people. I was actually honestly obsessed with it at the time. And so when I met up with him, I told him, like, hey, I've actually been doing something similar in my daily routine. And so I was like, we should take this to market. And that was before I had found out everything about the product. And after I got to know more about some of the other ingredients, which I hadn't used, I was blown away by it. It was terrific. And I learned a lot from Dr. Silverman. He has 4 or 5 decades being a medical practitioner, and that information is completely invaluable. And then what was really nice after, getting to speak to him, get to talk to him, is actually trying the product myself. So as a younger person, I don't necessarily have the issues with metabolism. That happens with time. I always hear from people, they say, oh, when I was your age, and then comes the highlight reel of high school and college. And so I recognize that right now I'm pretty lucky to have the metabolism and the health that I do. But I have a 3,000 calorie a day diet. So for this to keep me full for 5 hours, which it does, was really a blessing and allowed me to do other things, to focus on what was more important, not just constantly hanging by the fridge. So then comes, okay, how does this affect you? How does this story affect you? Well, Dr. Silverman, he wasn't by any means alone in these experiences. He's among the millions upon millions of people who have issues with their blood sugar, who have issues with their cholesterol. Undoubtedly, if you're watching this, you might have issues with cholesterol. You might have issues with some weight gain. You might have issues with blood sugar. Your triglycerides might be up. Your blood pressure might be up. And you're not alone. There's tons of people who are like that. And honestly, the medical community has failed millions of people in the United States. And so when Dr. Silverman set out to make this, it was like, what's going to be an easy habit that's going to ameliorate those issues? And he figured, I need to make it reasonable in taste. And so he said, I can't make anything that I'm going to hate. So he spent a lot of time actually figuring out what was going to taste good, because that's important to a lot of people. And then he had to make it so that it wasn't where his whole life was centered around that. So he came up with this product, which is just a once-a-day product. And ProFiber is just once a day. So you take it, most people take it in the morning. So we now have a user base. It's viable. That's why I'm making this presentation. We've been working in Sarasota, Florida, by the way. You older folks might know about Sarasota. We've been working in Sarasota for about 2 years, and it's viable. A lot of people are taking it. A lot of people are, and the big way to tell if a product works is, are they reusing it? And people are using this for months on end, which indicates that this is a good product and it works for them. As well as when they tell me, hey, my blood sugar is down, my cholesterol is down, and I'm full. And inevitably there's always the comment, and I don't want it to be too associated with weight loss, because I think sometimes with weight, people need to be more comfortable with where they're at. And I know as a society, we're really, really bad about not taking into consideration what weight problems are like. And so I don't really want to make this as a solution for losing a bunch of weight, but People do lose a considerable amount of weight on this, especially in the early months. And that's because you're full for so long, your body's intaking a lot less calories. And when you intake less calories, that's how you achieve weight loss. But that can only last for a certain amount of time. It's finite. It doesn't go on indefinitely. So that's one of the beautiful things about this product. It keeps you full for an incredibly long amount of time. 5 hours, that does it for me. And it's just 2 scoops. I mean, it's a powder. You mix it with water. I mean, this is what a bag looks like. I have a bag here. So this was taken out of a fridge. I keep mine refrigerated. We keep them refrigerated like when we sell at farmers markets. We do that. It keeps best that way. But you just do that with 12, 14 ounces of water. Super easy. You just do it in the morning. Keeps you full for 5 hours. On top of that, you'll notice very quickly your blood sugar in the morning stabilizes. So fasting blood sugar, that really comes down. LDL cholesterol. There's ingredients in here that are made to mitigate rising LDL cholesterol, which is also a big problem for a lot of people. What's interesting too is people who've had a gastric bypass. This works great for them because there's a bunch of protein in here. So as a protein and fiber source, something to keep them full, this is fantastic because after gastric bypass, you need to up the protein, and this does that. It has a high amount of protein in it. And then for people who oftentimes have colon issues, the fiber is great. So I'm going to come out and say that officially this has the most fiber of any meal in the world. It has 17 grams of fiber. So with that, I know a lot of people like to focus on and talk about the regularity. It's an interesting topic. But you will be regular with ProFiber. For sure, once a day. So you have the regularity, which is fantastic for a lot of people, because a lot of people don't have that. In addition to the colon issues, you have the microbiome. So there's a bunch of research coming out on the importance of what the microbiome does. In fact, today I was just reading an article about how if you get, and this is a little, for those who are squeamish, it's a little weird, but if you get an injection anally of separate fecal matter that has good bacteria and it populates your gut, you're actually much more likely to deal a lot better with immune problems, autoimmune problems. I don't want to go too far in talking about that and making claims about this, but you have 6 different types of fiber in here, and together they really do make for an incredible gut system, especially when you have something like a prebiotic, which we have, resistant starch. What that does, a prebiotic, it's different from a probiotic, in that the probiotic is the bacteria itself. So a lot of times with a probiotic, you will introduce a foreign bacteria into your gut system, which you might not want. With a prebiotic, it's the food for the bacteria. So what you're doing is you're building a healthier, more flourishing gut microbiome. And so that's what the resistant starch does in this. Now, granted, this has 11 primary ingredients. All of them are designed to make for a more efficient, more effective body system. You get people from the age ranges of, my age, 30. We have several people in their 30s, but most people who will really feel this are 40 and above, and it's life-changing for those people. They said, I've never had this much energy before, and I don't know why that is. That's not my place. Personally, I don't have any certifications in nutrition. And to be honest, I think people who don't have certifications or degrees in that space shouldn't make claims. So I'm not going to about what this can do for energy. Now, I can say based on testimonials that this is great for people who do have blood sugar issues, who need to lower their LDL cholesterol, who might have blood pressure problems. This has been great for all of them. For people who are on the go in the mornings, this is fantastic. We have so many people who are in business in the mornings. Like, I don't have time to make a breakfast, so they just put this in a shaker, they drink it, and off they go. I mean, it's really incredibly simple. And so, how does it work? How does this come to be? Well, what you have here is a focus on protein and fiber. I know you would have thought ProFiber, but you just get the protein, take off the teen, attach it to the fiber, and there's the name. We're really original. But you have 20 grams of protein mixed with 17 grams of fiber. So the two proteins. So it does have dairy, but for good reason. So it's a whey isolate. That's the best protein for muscle protein synthesis. What that is, coming from a exercise space, is that's going to be how does your body break down the protein to stimulate muscle growth. And whey isolate, above all others, does better. It's simply the best. It does it the quickest and most efficiently. Now, casein is a slower digesting protein. This is to keep you full. So we use them, it's kind of like a counterbalance. So you have 20 grams of protein coming in from those two sources. So then you have 6 types of fiber. And so the fiber sources, the primary one, psyllium husk. So you're going to see that in Metamucil. The problem with that is, with Metamucil, you're getting 6 grams at most. Which is good, but guys, you need almost 40 grams of fiber a day. Women need 30. Is 6 grams going to help you? Yeah, but for a lot of people, it's not going to get you there. This will get you there, 17 grams of fiber. You have 10 grams of psyllium husk. So then 9 grams of psyllium husk. So then where else are you getting your fiber from? Then you have seeds, and these are also where the omega-3s come in. You have flaxseed, and we all have heard the benefits of flaxseed. You have chia seed, again, a great natural product. Then you also have sunflower seeds. This also adds a really nice texture to it. So you get fiber from there, healthy fats, the omega-3s. That's good for your cholesterol. Further, you're going to have beta-glucan. Now, this is a derivative of oat bran, which has actually been certified by the FDA to help with your cholesterol and your blood sugar. So it's one of the few ingredients that's certified by the FDA to do that. And it has been since, I believe, 1993. So that's a great ingredient. We have that in there. Along with that, you have resistant starch. Resistant starch, like I mentioned earlier, that's the prebiotic. And that's going to be fantastic for, it's basically a non-digestible fiber. And that's going to be good for your microbiome, so your colon, your gut. And it's going to be really great for repopulating the good bacteria. From there, you're also going to have a little bit of fiber coming in from a antioxidant blend. So we do have vitamins in this, but it is not the focus. I think oftentimes, and Dr. Silverman and I agree on this, that's why we don't have much in here, there's a lot of emphasis placed on vitamins when in comparison to caloric intake and the big macronutrients, protein, fats, and carbs. They're just not as important, not as good for overall wellness. So we do have an antioxidant blend, but not a key component. But you do get a little bit of fiber from there as well. So then you have, further from that, you're going to have matcha tea. Now that's good because it gives you your little morning boost. Again, this was intended as a morning drink. A lot of people, though, do have this for lunch. They might have this in the late afternoon so they don't eat much at dinner, because this really, really prevents cravings, right? So the matcha provides a little bit of a boost, but not so much, that you're jittery. So, and that's great about it. We use an all-natural sweetener because we really wanted to maintain this product as something that is all-natural. We use stevia, and that's what we use in our product. Now, in some of the blends we might have, we do have like inulin, and then we'll have a little bit of small ingredients, but none of them have any sort of effect on the body. I mean, this is pretty much as good as it gets for a meal replacement. And I've been using it now for just about 2 years, and it's a staple in my day. Dr. Silverman's been using it for several years. We have many people who have been using this now for about a year. I mean, really, since it's been on the market after we've gotten all of our health permits and such. And they love it. It's a staple of their day, which I think really, really just adds to the validity and effectiveness of what this does. So, in telling you about that, now you say, okay, it sounds good, but how much is it? And so each bag, they're 3-pound bags roughly, and so you get 15 servings per container. This one was in a freezer, and now it's starting to, there's condensation occurring. But, so you'll see the little water beads. But there's 15 servings in each of the bags. Each of them come in at 90 grams, so it's a pretty hefty serving. It's going to be about $3.33 a meal. So you're looking at it's $50 a bag normally. But what I want to do for people on Facebook, so what I'm going to offer to them is, because I think it's really important to have the habit formation. I don't think you can be successful in anything without having strict, and then Dr. Silverman and I agree on this. Any, I think, thought leader will probably agree on this, is that you have to have those specific habits. And if you want to lower your cholesterol, if you want to stabilize your blood sugar, you need to have those habits. And so we talk about it, and we don't offer anything lower than 15 days for one bag, because you're not going to really start to see an effect on what we think is important, your cholesterol, your blood sugar, in less than 2 weeks, really, a noticeable difference. So we make that the lowest amount of servings in a bag that you can buy, and that's just for your benefit. We personally don't want we don't want anyone to get a bag that's 7 servings and say, I didn't notice anything, so I'm not going to buy again. Of course you're not. You probably didn't use it all the days in a row, which you need to do. You can't buy this, use it one day, skip 2 days, use it the 4th day. You need to use this every day in a row for 2 weeks. And that's when you're going to see the benefit. So we make this in a 2-week bag because people need to see this through as a habit. Otherwise, it's not going to work. It's just, we don't tout this as a miracle. It's better than anything on the market, but what it really comes down to is the person on the other side of the screen. What are you willing to do? And the nutrient profile on this is better than any other meal replacement on the market. It's made for people who have had those struggles, which so many have, and like I mentioned earlier. And so with that, we make our bags 15 days. We don't do anything less than that. But we want to see people successful with it. So what I have done, a normal bag is $50. You're getting 15 servings. $3.33 a serving. That's less than your coffee at Starbucks. I know that's like so cliche to say, but it's true. It's less than the coffee at Starbucks, and it keeps you full for 5 hours. I mean, I can't think of any meal that has the health benefits, the satiating potential, and the price point that this does. I really don't. So I think it's a great offer. But on top of that, what I'm doing on Facebook for a limited time is I'm saying, okay, you can get 2 bags, which would normally be $100, for $90. So you get 10 off. But on top of that, you get the cool branded shaker. So I put that in there. And I think what's most appealing is you don't have to pay for shipping. So ordinarily, it's a heavy product. There's a lot in here. So ordinarily, you're going to have to pay, I believe it's $12 shipping for that. But on Facebook, for a limited time, I'm going to offer free shipping with the order of 2 bags. So you have to order 2. When you order 2, there's going to be a code which will be in a link below this video, and you put in that code, and you'll get 2 bags plus a shaker plus free shipping for $90 flat. And that's going to cover you for a month. And I really do think, based on experience, based on our testimonials, that you're going to see a big difference in how you feel and your various health markers. It's going to be great. And if you want, you can look through our site. I mean, you see the ingredients. They're all thoroughly research backed. It's a great product. So ProFiber is fantastic. I mean, I've been doing it. You know, I'm a relatively smart guy, but I'm sure you guys over there smarter than me. And if I can do it, you can do it. You can do it too. And I was lucky to learn a lot from Dr. Silverman, and he's made a fantastic product. And I really do think that this can help a lot of people who are struggling and just don't want to struggle anymore. So if that's you, put in the code below. At checkout, get 2 bags, and we'll ship those out for you, because we really do. We like it when people take this. They come back to us and say, this has helped me tremendously. Maybe I've lowered my insulin. You know, maybe I'm not taking metformin anymore, because that's happened, and that makes us feel good. So do that, and on the website too, you'll notice we have our numbers on there. Feel free to call us. We're here to help. So we're completely transparent with everything. We list how much of every ingredient we have in ProFiber. Nobody else does that. But that's just because of how confident we are about the ingredients in ProFiber. So check us out. Put in the link below. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys, taking your questions, and helping along this journey, this health journey, which, although sometimes can be so arduous, I think this once a day, easy meal replacement can help so many of you. Okay, thanks guys. It's Antonio. You guys have a good one. Bye.